What do we? Who do you think is the goat of directing, Jeff? Like
Oh,
the greatest of all time, or like I guess you could say top five maybe
oh,
goats.
making it easier because if you say which is the one, that is just a tough
Yeah,
question.
yeah. I don't. It's like with favorite films, you can't just. I don't have like one favorite film. I have like many favorite films.
Mhm. I would say Fincher for one, especially his later career. He's definitely been more consistent with making good stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
Fight Club is still one of my favorite films of all time, and
yeah, but I'd
it.
say Panic Room is a bit meh.
I
Um,
yeah. I'd also say that I think Fight Club would be a great film for a lot of people to watch now, actually,
oh,
considering the
definitely.
circumstances. If you've not seen Fight Club, it's
Do it now.
fantastic,
Sorry.
but don't talk about it afterwards. Yeah, no
No, no,
rule
no,
one.
no. We broke the rule.
Broke the rule.
Um, because like Social Network, uh, Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl, Mindhunter, Mank. I heard Mank's really good. I just haven't seen it. I need to see it. I need to just lay out
Yeah,
an evening just to be like, no,
yeah.
gonna watch this.
Wasn't Fincher a special effects artist originally?
Yeah, he worked for ILM, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was Star Wars. I think it was honestly Star Wars that he worked on one of the films.
I was about to say The Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi. He worked.
Oh, don't go Last Jedi, Jeff.
He also worked on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I
Yeah,
believe. Could be wrong, but no,
yeah.
he did work an ILM. Other ones, would you say Nolan could be one?
Um, I suppose he could be. It's very hard to say actually because he's such a modern director at the minute. Like he's still
Mm,
like a lot when a lot of people talk about like the greatest directors of all time, it's normally like past directors or directors that had their heights of their career during years ago or whatever. But I
mm,
guess Nolan can be on there to be honest with you. I mean,
yeah.
it's a bit more controversial because a lot of people don't think he's as original as everybody thinks. But I would argue no. I'd argue he's pretty original. Yeah, like you've got Memento. That's a fantastic film. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's still my favorite Christopher Nolan film, and it's one of his first, I
Yeah.
believe, one of his first films. It's so clever in the way it does things. I don't think there was a film before it that did anything that did that kind of style of anti-narrative. I don't believe there was. I could be wrong. I know there was a French film that did the same thing, but I think that
Oh,
came out afterwards.
okay.
But like, um, yeah, and also all of his other films. Like, I suppose you can't argue with his resume in a way because you've got Memento, Prestige,
Inception.
Inception, Insomnia, the Dark Knight trilogy. I
Mm,
mean, I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy, like, it's considered some of the greatest superhero films of all time. Maybe the Dark Knight probably is the greatest if we're talking which one's the best in the trilogy.
yeah. Uh, well, even its more recent stuff,
Yeah,
like Tenet, people say, "Oh yeah, I don't really like that," but obviously people are going to be like, "Oh, I don't really like that," but
I can understand why people don't like it.
mm,
To be honest with you, it is you really have to sit down and pay attention to everything in the film. Otherwise, you're just going to be completely lost in it. But um, Dunkirk is pretty good as well. I know a lot of people. I don't know his later work doesn't seem to get as highly rated. Maybe he's just past the prime. I'm not sure.
well, he's past the point of people raving about him, and then after that,
Yeah,
a lot more people know about him, and those people who wouldn't have already been fans of his come to his films and be, "Oh, I didn't like that because of blah blah blah," and it's like,
yeah,
yeah, okay, well, they don't like it, but that doesn't mean to say that it's bad.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
personal taste.
Yeah, well, obviously he's got all. What else has he got? Oh yeah, Interstellar, obviously.
Yeah.
So
And Following, his very
yeah,
first film,
yeah,
feature film.
and Doodlebug if you want to go
Mm.
even further back than that.
Quay,
That little
his
short film.
documentary.
Oh yeah.
Well, what about Spielberg? Because people would talk about him, but I honestly believe his recent career has just been a bit.
You
meh.
know what? Whether you like Spielberg's like films or not, I don't think you can honestly argue with his resume.
No.
I mean, you've got Jaws, you've got Indiana Jones,
Oh yeah.
you've got Close Encounter with the Third Kind. You've got
Saving Private Ryan,
Saving Private Ryan,
Schindler's
E.T.,
List, E.T. Yeah.
E.T., yeah, Schindler's List, and like some of his odd modern films are pretty good as well. Warhorse is pretty good, and that's directed by him.
Mm. Ready Player One though, you wouldn't.
Well, I liked it.
Oh,
I
wait,
liked Ready Player One.
who
That was
said that?
Josh. That was Josh.
Oh,
That was Josh who said that. That was which fair enough. But like whether you like his later films or not, I don't think you can argue that he's not a GOAT because of his resume.
fair enough.
If you Jaws is one of the most revolutionary. Well, I can't say it properly. Revolutionary films.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Like, and the way he uses the zoom on Jaws is like something that nobody else did at the time, and it's still very hard to do that zoom shot.
Yeah,
And do it effectively the way he
but
did it.
Hitchcock did it first.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah,
Well,
he did.
maybe he didn't do it first, but he did it before.
Yeah. Oh
Speaking
yeah,
of
he
which,
did. Yeah,
Hitchcock.
yeah. Hitchcock definitely needs to be on there. Once again, can't argue with his resume. Psycho, brilliant film. Still holds up today, in my opinion. They tried to remake it, and it was not very good.
Yeah.
North by Northwest is great as well. If you've not seen that, that's fantastic film.
Mm-hmm.
The Birds is great. Birds is pretty good as well. That seems to be kind of underrated these days, doesn't it?
It is just making you afraid of just what's out there.
It's very weird because they had sequels to his films that were not directed by him that were made for like TV. It was very weird.
Oh, like Psycho. They had
Psycho
sequels.
2 and like 3.
I want to check them out just out of curiosity now.
It's weird.
Oh, and the Bates Motel, that series.
Yeah, that was a reimagining though, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
I've seen the first season or whatnot. It's all right. It's pretty good.
Oh, what about? Sorry.
No. I was just saying that it's pretty good. I'm not trying to slag it off or anything like that.
What about Ridley Scott?
Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott's a difficult one for me because he has some great stuff and then he has some terrible stuff. But obviously he has Alien, Gladiator,
Blade Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner,
Martian.
It's very hard for me.
What about his bad films? The ones that are seen as lesser.
Alien Covenant, Prometheus. They're the two that kind of stick out to me, really.
What about films like Exodus?
I can't actually remember. I've seen it, but I can't remember. A Christian Bale in it, didn't it?
Or The Counselor.
I've not seen that, but I don't.
All the Money in the World.
Oh, Robin in the Hood. Robin Hood.
Oh yeah. All the Money in the World.
I actually enjoyed that. I thought Christopher Plummer was very good in that.
Yeah, short notice. Can you get in?
Yeah, can you get in? I don't know, to be honest with you. Like, the good films he's made are very good, but the bad films he's made aren't very good.
He's an interesting one. Oh,
Yeah, he's very interesting indeed. I think it's like a few other directors we know actually.
I know you have opinions on Tarantino.
What why? What kind of opinions?
You tell me.
I don't know if he is actually a goat, to be honest with you.
Oh,
I'm a fan of his earlier work. His last two films I've not enjoyed at all.
mm,
Hateful Eight and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Well, I've already talked about why I don't like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The Hateful Eight, it's just a bit slow. And understand what they were going for, the mystery thing, but
mm.
it just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't gel well with me, if you get what I mean.
Any of his other films didn't gel with you?
No, not really. Jackie Brown's normally the one that gets the hate, but I
Mm.
think that's perfectly fine. I think that's a perfectly fine film. They, I heard they changed some stuff from the book because it's, as far as I know, it's the only film that he's directed that he did not write
Okay.
story to, because Jackie Brown was a book. But with the thing with Jackie Brown is it deviates a lot from what his normal directing style is.
How do you
Like
describe that?
the over the top violence, the um over the top clever dialogue, I guess, that we're used to seeing. Stuff like that. Like Jackie Brown obviously has great dialogue, but it doesn't have that over the top violence that people
Mm.
love. And it's very different in the way, in the pacing and the style as well. It doesn't feel like a Tarantino film almost, but it does at the same time. Like it's perfectly a good film to me. But obviously, I'm a fan of stuff like Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, all brilliant films. Django Unchained is good as well. That sometimes gets a bit of hate because it's a bit predictable, but it's pretty good apart from that.
Inglourious Bastards.
Oh yeah, that's great as well. Always
Mm.
great seeing Hitler, see seeing history get changed,
Uh,
seeing Hitler get shot.
I just wish you would get on with that
Yep.
Star Trek film.
Yeah, I don't see that happening
Mm.
personally.
It's been written, so
Oh, I don't.
even if it's not directed by him, it's still like, well, got his name as story by credit.
Well, Tarantino's whole argument for, because he's planning on retiring. I think it's after this next film he makes or the film after, because he argued that directors are getting worse as they get older.
Yeah, well,
That
judged by what
that
you
that
say,
was
is
that I don't. Well, I don't entirely agree.
okay.
There's still plenty like there's still plenty of directors that are older and do just fine. But
Mm. Fincher.
yeah, yeah, Fincher exactly.
Um,
But he said he's retiring.
mm,
He's going to retire from film, and then he's going to. I think he's either going to continue writing films or like books or something like that after he, but no directing as far as I'm aware.
yeah. Well, fair enough.
Yeah, well, he's got plenty of money, hasn't he?
Mm.
Plenty of money.
What
We've
else?
got we've got to get him back onto goats and stuff like that.
Mm,
Let's talk about more international directors because they're the ones that normally get swept out of the conversation most of the time.
that is true. Yeah.
Kurosawa.
Okay.
Kurosawa is a guy that comes to mind. Japanese director, made the Seven Samurais, which has inspired so much, like
Mm.
so many films over the years. There was that film about his dreams as well, wasn't there? It was pretty good actually. Like he made a film where it would be like a collection of dreams he actually had. It's very cool how he did that.
Hmm.
I believe he also inspired A Fistful of Dollars as well, didn't he? I think it was his film, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
can't remember the name of the film now, but like Kurosawa's like so in. He's such an important figure, and obviously he's not American; he's Japanese, and he's had such a big impact. He didn't make his first film till he was 40. Is
Hmm.
that right?
I remember you saying that to me.
No, I think it was you that said it actually.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that film. That I'm looking at it now. Actually, it's the film that inspired A Fistful of Dollars. It was that. It was a samurai film, like the Seven Samurai. It's not called the Seven Samurais.
Magnificent Seven?
No, no, no.
No.
I'm on about one of Kurosawa's films that inspired. Can't remember the name of it, but people will probably know what it is anyway.
Hmm.
But obviously, Seven Samurais also inspired the Magnificent Seven as well. Well, it's a remake technically.
Jean-Luc Godard?
Yeah, yeah. There's like what's it? Breathless. Breathless is
Hmm.
one of his great films.
French New Wave.
Yeah, the French New Wave, very important
Yeah.
wave to filmmaking, especially indie filmmaking as well.
Yeah. Correlated with the time in the 50s when there were like smaller cameras, be like 35 mil or 16 mil.
Yeah,
Because you got the smaller Bolex cameras, and then you got your slightly larger Atons,
yeah,
or the Arri flexes. The Arri did smaller Arri flexes that had smaller magazines they could put
yeah,
in, but they're a lot more portable
yeah,
than the larger ones. But yeah, just using that to its full advantage, and why not?
yeah, yeah. And he did a lot of location shooting as well in around Paris, didn't he? For a lot of his films.
That was rare at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, because a lot of it was studio, wasn't it?
Mm.
Studio based stuff. Kind of where they started to lean away from the whole studio era
Mm.
almost.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, like if you're an indie filmmaker or someone who just gets a camera and films themselves anywhere, then you've partly got people like Godard to thank, ain't you?
Yeah, yeah, he was. I think he did a lot of it without permission as well.
Well, don't we all?
I think it. Yeah, yeah. Danny Boyle did it with 28 Days Later. He like
Oh,
because he like film. He would like film really early in the morning just so he won't get caught.
oh, that genius! That didn't he say that he used students to help block off roads because they're like cheap labor? Give them
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
20 quid
probably.
and pot noodle, and there you go.
Probably. I know that I know he shot a lot during like the early mornings just so he could avoid getting caught
Mm.
because he didn't have permission to be there in the first place.
Oh, that's brilliant. That.